Good afternoon all of you. Today we will discuss about the two new techniques, that is immunodiffusion and electrolyte analysis by ion selective electrodes. Immunodiffusion technique, it is correlated with the immunology, and electrolyte analysis by ion selective electrode is correlated with the clinical biochemistry. So start with the analysis of the electrodes by the ion selective electrode method. Many elements are present in the body in the form of ions or the electrodes, like sodium, potassium, lithium, calcium, zinc, chloride, etc. So the determination of the electrolytes is the important function in the clinical laboratory. There are many functions of the electrolytes. They maintain the osmotic pressure, maintain the body pH, they regulate the functions of the heart and the other muscles, they assist the electron transfer reactions, they participate many enzymatic reactions as a coenzymes. Electrolytes are analyzed by the electrolyte analyzers. It is also called electrolyte panels. Okay, the samples for the electrolyte analysis mainly blood, plasma, serum, urine and CSF. By these samples we can measure electrolytes sodium, potassium, chloride, lithium, calcium, bicarbonate. So these are the ions or electrolytes that we can measure. The method for the analysis of electrodes, mainly two methods are here: flame photometer or ion selective electrodes. Flame photometer can be used to measure the many positive ions like sodium, potassium, lithium in the sample. The principle of this flame photometry, it is based on the fact that some elements absorb the thermal energy and their electrons are excited and go to the higher state. When they return to this ground state, then they emit the photon light and the intensity is directly proportional to the element's concentration. So this is the basic principle of the flame photometer by which we measure the electrolyte analysis. Another method is ion selective electrode method, also known as specific ion electrode method. Ion selective electrodes are the transducers or the sensor that convert the activity of specific ions that dissolve into the solution and produce electric potential. What happens in the ion selective electrode? Mainly pH selective glass electrode immersed or dipped into the solution. So the potential difference generated between the inner and the outer layer of the glass electrode or the electrode that is present in the analyzer. So the potential difference that is developed between two layers. So by this method we can measure the voltage that develops between the two membranes or two surface of the ion selective electrode. So this is the basic principle of the ion selective electrode. This is the pH electrode. So the potential difference generated between the outer layer and inner layer of the electrode, and voltage is measured here. So this is the basic principle. For the electrolyte analysis, we can use in the laboratory auto analyzer or electrolyte auto analyzer. This is the picture of the analyzer. This is the display, keyboard, removable reagent packs, sample probe. By the sample probe, sample is given, and here sensory electrode just behind the sample probe. So these are the part of the basic analyzer. The structure of the analyzer is differ because it is manufactured by the many companies. On the basis of the sample running, of the sample, there are two types: indirect ion selective electrode method and direct ion selective electrode method. In the direct ion selective electrode method, there is no dilution of the sample, but in the indirect method, sample will be diluted and then it is run for the measuring. Every instrument needs the maintenance, so the analyzer the maintenance of the analyzer is required. Daily cleaning of the fluid path, because many proteins fibers are accumulated in this path. The cleaning is done by the cleaning solution. It is completed maximum 75 seconds. After cleaning, calibration is required. After the calibration, the control sample is running, and after then sample is running. Sensors are replaced when there is repetitive failure of the calibration or quality controls. Controls are the materials that we can use to maintain the quality of the instrument. Okay, every laboratory had its own control chart or reference ranges. The universal reference range in the blood or in the urine sample, the reference range of sodium, that is 136 to 145 millimole per liter, potassium 3.5 to 5 millimole per liter, chloride 98 to 107 or 108 millimole per liter. But in urine sample the ranges are higher. Sodium 40 to 220 millimole per liter, potassium 25 to 125 millimole per liter, chloride 110 to 250 millimole per liter. So these are the ranges of the many electrolytes. The advantage of use ion selective electrode method analyzers: they are easy to use, the results we get that are reliable, unaffected by the sample color or turbidity. These analyzers measure both positive and negative ions, but by the flame photometer we can measure only positive ions. They are non-contaminating and the timing of the results in seconds. So this is all about the ion selective electrode method. The electrodes are many different types, like glass electrode, membrane electrode, solid phase electrode. But mainly used in the laboratory, that is glass electrode. Another one is immunodiffusion. Immunodiffusion means, immuno means it is related to the immunology, that is antigen antibody related. Diffusion means migration. So it is a technique for the detection or the measurement of the antigen and antibodies by their precipitation, which involves the diffusion of the antigen or antibody in the medium, that is agar or agarose gel. Immunodiffusion is a term that is used to detect or to measure the concentration of the antigen or antibodies, or the comparison of the antigen or antibodies by the precipitation reactions in the agar gel or in the agarose gel. The diffusion is unidirectional or bidirectional based on the method of the diffusion of the antigen or antibody. It is classified mainly two forms: single immunodiffusion and double immunodiffusion. Single immunodiffusion also called radial immunodiffusion, and double immunodiffusion also called Otterloni double diffusion. Single diffusion, radial immunodiffusion, that is single immunodiffusion. Radial means circle or radial. It is discovered by Mancini, so it is also called Mancini method. Why it is used mainly to determine the quantity of the antigen. The principle of the immunodiffusion, it is based on the antigen antibody interaction forming visible cross linking when proper ratio of antigen and antibodies present in the medium or present in the gel or agarose gel medium. It is a single diffusion technique where a solution that contain antibodies and here we can determine the quantity of antigen. The diameter of the ring that participate around the well as a result of antigen-antibody interaction corresponds to the amount of the antigen in the solution. Suppose this is the Petri dish. In the Petri dish we pour agar gel. In the agar gel antibodies, and after that it is solidified. Some wells can be formed by the pinning. After that, the solution that contain antigen is filled in the well, and after 24 to 72 hours we can see the extra ring. In this area the antigen and antibodies are reacted or antigen antibody precipitated by the thickening or by the diameter of this radius. We can measure the amount of antigen. This is the antigen axis zone and antibodies is placed in the agar gel. Diffusion of the antigens and antigen antibody interaction in the radial form. This is the glass slide or agar plate that contain agarose gel or agar gel. फिर the wells are formed and different known concentration of the antigen is filled into the 3 wells. The concentration is lesser in this well. The concentration of antigen is higher in this well, and it is the same antigen but the concentration of this antigen is unknown. So agar gel is poured onto the glass slide, and here antigen solution is poured. After antigen antibody interaction or after antigen antibody precipitation, we can estimate or we can determine the concentration of this unknown sample. Suppose the diameter of this sample 1 is 7, diameter of this radius is 15. We know the concentration of this known samples. So here we can measure the diameter of this antigen antibody precipitation and put here here, put here the diameter, when we draw the line, then we find the concentration of this antigen. Okay, so this is how we can calculate or we can measure the unknown concentration of the antigen. Another applications of radial immunodiffusions are estimation of immunoglobulins in the serum to determine the relative concentration of the antibodies in the serum, estimate the serum transferrin or alpha fetoprotein, estimation of different antibodies in the influenza viruses, to determine the purity of antigen preparation. It is used for the diagnosis of the disease and many serological surveys. Another type of immunodiffusion is double immunodiffusion or Australoni double diffusion. Why it is called double diffusion? Because both antigen and antibodies diffuse into the agarose gel. So it is called double immunodiffusion. It is mainly used for the comparing of the antigen. Means in the well, in the two different well, we can pour two different antigen solution and we compare they are related, not related or partially related. This precipitation is highly specific and it is used by people working with the diagnosis and protein detection techniques. Here you can see it is a glass slide. After then agar gel pour, two wells are formed in the single well. We can pour antigen solution and in the another well we can pour antigen solution. So this is the zone, antigen access zone, and this is the zone of antibody access zone. After some time, antigen antibody diffuse and form a band, that is antigen antibody precipitation band. The diffusion is passive, so this zone is called as precipitation zone or equivalent zone. Mainly double immunodiffusion technique used to compare the antigen in the solution. By which we can identify that the antigens are similar, not similar or partially similar. Here we know the antigen that are similars. We can pour into the one well and into the another well. Here antibodies are present. Antigen and antibodies are diffused, and after some time we get the band that is fused, or the fusion lines at their junction to form an arc. It means the both antigens are similar or identically similar. We can interpret that both antigens have common epitopes. The another one, we know that both antigens are differ. Here the antibodies, after diffusion we can see the cross lines. It means both antigens are not similar, they are non-similar or non-identical. If we get crossed line, then we can interpret that both antigens are non-identical. There is no similar epitopes. Partially identical means one or more than one epitopes are similar of these two antigen samples. So after the precipitation we get the fusion of two lines with a spur. So we can interpret that these antigens are partially identical or partially similar. So these are the diffusion pattern by which we can identify the antigens are similar or not, or partially similar. The applications of double immunodiffusion, it is mainly used for the comparison of the different antigens. It is also used for measuring of the hormones, serum proteins and drugs. This is also used to determine of the immunoglobulins in the patient sample. It is used as homopregnancy kit. It is good because it is sensitive and the results are reliable. So this is all about the immunodiffusion and electrolyte analysis by ion selective electrode method. In the diffusion, two types of diffusion, radial and double diffusion. The main functions or main applications of this type of diffusions, the principle of this diffusion, why it is called radial immunodiffusion, why it is called double immunodiffusion. Okay, thank you.